All right, welcome everybody to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 6. Really glad to be back with you guys. It's been a little while. We were kind of off for the holidays, and then we were supposed to do the show last week, and I got sick. But I'm better now, and have an absolutely amazing panel tonight. I'm so excited to have these group of guys in the chat and in the panel because, man, there's nobody better out there. So I'm really excited. Let's do some introductions real quick. First of all, back by popular demand. It's been a while, but Rogue Rick is back with us tonight. Let's welcome Rogue.
Yeah, good to be back. Yeah, I came out of my hibernation, so trying to stick around a while.
Well, that's good. And you're slightly short-haired. You know, you don't have you look a little different.
I do look a little different. I am the same person, so nobody needs to freak out. You know, I sold out to corporate America is what really happened. So it happened. Sorry, guys.
That's right. We'll forgive you this one time. As long as you're still Rogue, that's all that matters, right?
I am still Rogue, a little too Rogue, actually.
There you go. There you go. Well, we also in our panel tonight we have the amazing Dark Lord himself, Mr. Thor Gunderson's in the house.
Well, I appreciate it. As always, we are honored that we could join you.
Absolutely. We also have his partner in crime. We have, of course, Rodney Punisher Jones.
Yeah, what's up? Glad to be here.
And we also have, of course, Lawrence Orr always with us. So, Lawrence, I'm glad you made it tonight.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We have, as always, with us, Mr. Jeff Morris.
Hey, everyone.
Jeff, you and I got to get some nicknames, man.
I know.
Yeah, you got to have a nickname. It's like the rite of passage of chats, apparently.
That's right. I gave you one task, and you can't come up with a name. Come on.
Dog Walker.
Dog Walker.
The Dog Walker, Jeff Morris. I like it.
Walker.
So let it be written. So let it be written.
I like another choice. I like a better choice.
Can I get a do-over?
Yeah. Let's call it BW. How about that? Then also, of course, we have Mr. Centauri Stir Fry back with us again. How you doing, sir?
Thank you. Hey, doing pretty good. Doing all right.
All right. Well, good. And then we have, I believe this is the first time on the show. Am I correct?
It is.
All right. Very first time joining us here in Gotham. Of course, we have child of the Atom himself, Mr. A-Tam here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Glad you could be on. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm just excited that you're all here tonight. I love this panel. It's some of the best in the entire collecting world. Amazing personalities, and love you guys all. So glad you're here. Glad all the people in the chat. I'm just going to kind of read a couple people. I've got Edwin Diaz. We've got Gabriel Ross. Archangels in the house. Let's see. Orang. Jeff Gerard. All right, thank you guys for being in the chat tonight. I appreciate that very much. So we have a number of topics that I'd like to go over tonight, and the first one is just kind of popped up this week, and it involves this letter right here. I received this letter right here. This was from FedEx, and it is an invoice. It's a bill for $59.95, and it is for my Prime 1 Joker. I received my Prime 1 Joker about 3 weeks ago, and I ordered it directly from Prime 1. It is the first time I've ordered from them. I knew that by ordering from them, the shipping was going to be a little bit more, but I really wanted that exclusive of Scarface, and so it was worth it to me. But then a couple other collectors, they contacted me, and they said, did I get this letter in the mail? And I said, no, I hadn't received anything until 2 days ago, and I got this letter again, this bill. Which is basically import fees. So to me, that could be quite a game changer for a lot of collectors in America that are getting statues in that might order maybe outside of Sideshow. I know for a long time other countries have charged import fees and taxes, and I've heard horror stories from other collectors that they say $60 isn't all that bad. I pay $500 per statue. And so it's just crazy now that we're starting to get bills. It's interesting also, they say that usually when they get a bill, they get the bill first and they hold the statue until you pay. Well, this one I got 3 weeks after the fact that I got the statue. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on this. What do you guys think about, is this a game changer if we're going to have to start paying import fees here in America, which we've never really had to do?
I think for me, it probably depends. If 60 is the ceiling, I'm good with that. If it goes up a lot higher, that would definitely be a game changer for me. So
I'll echo that. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
I mean,
Any higher than that, I'm like, yeah, not happening.
Yeah, I think that you got to factor in everything else too. I mean, if prices of statues are rising and you're paying this on top of it, and then shipping apparently has some kind of issue with it going up. It's really making it difficult on people. It gets to a point where you go, all right, is this statue worth the money that I'm paying? Because at a certain point, it's going to stop being worth it. It's going to be like, this statue to me is not worth $1,200 once I pay for shipping and everything else. I mean, it's not nice as it is, it's hard to swallow. It really is. It's tough.
Well, I think the thing that bothered me about it too is just that there was no heads up. Right. It didn't say in any of the order forms or anything. It's like, you're going to be paying $60 on top of this. That may have changed my thinking. I might not have ordered the way I did. What do you guys think about that?
Do you know if this is like where Prime One starts? Because that was over $1,000 statue, right?
Correct. Yes.
So you know if maybe 1,000, because I ordered Two-Face from them not too long ago. I was
going to ask you that. Yeah,
and didn't get that charge. So and that was under the power.
Well, the thing that I wonder about is the timing. I kind of wonder if, because of some of these trade issues that just kind of took place, I wonder if it went into effect January 1st. Which is maybe why, Rodney, maybe you didn't get a fee. But your statue wasn't over 1,000 though, was it?
No, it was 900.
Okay. Somebody said, we had this conversation kind of going in my group this week, and I think Thomas Nielsen was the one that asked about it, and somebody said that if it's over $800, but I mean, most Prime One statues are, so I would imagine that everybody's going to be getting these fees. So I just don't know, but I do kind of wonder if it was January 1st of when all this changed. I don't know.
You buy it before January 1st?
I did buy it before January 1st, yes.
So you're getting a bill after the fact that maybe changes were made through whatever customs or deals that were made, but that seems kind of unfair. I mean, it seems like they should have to eat that, but I don't know. I'm kind of used to expensive shipping. I mean, I don't get a lot of them, but I mean, this right now is like a XM Studios piece. I'm using it as a desk, and I can tell you right now, that was a couple $100 for shipping. It was ridiculous. But I kind of knew that up front. I know what I'm getting into, and it does kind of take away the value of your because you're looking at what you would pay for it if you lived like maybe next door to the company. Like maybe you lived in Africa. I'm sure it's cheaper, or maybe you lived in Europe. I don't know, but in America, a couple $100, and you know what you're doing. And you're gonna take a hit, and reselling it's gonna be like painful.
That's the problem with the extra fees on top of the statue. I mean, you can't recoup those by selling. There's just no way. I mean, you're gonna lose that straight outright because
you gotta make it.
I mean, look at the statues. If everything's going, not everything, but a good chunk of things are going lower than retail anyway. When you resell them, I mean, just people are having to take huge hits just to get rid of stuff. So if you have to tack that on top of it, now you're getting into the ball game of, not only am I going to lose money on my statue, but I just gave this much for a custom fee and this much for shipping when it was this much before. It just starts to add up.
Yeah, you're like paying an upfront renter's fee.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, we were talking a little bit about this before we went on the air, and so these collectors, like I think it was maybe George Raw or some guys that are over in Germany and other places. They said that they're having to pay $400 or $500 on top of the statue, or sometimes even they said sometimes they pay double what the actual amount of the statue is. Like I don't know how people do that. Like I don't know. I couldn't. There's no way. And like mine was $59.95. I know Thomas's. He said his was $66. The bill he got. So the bills are all over the place too. I don't know if that's just distance traveled or what.
Should there be like an estimate, for you, something like a heads up, something like so you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
I mean, no one likes to have to pay like a hidden $60 fee for something they didn't plan on. Yeah.
Well, don't you think it's weird too that they send it 3 weeks after the fact?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, like whenever I get a oversized envelope or something in the mail, like the next day you get this little envelope that says you need to put in another 62 cents or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks after the fact with a $60 bill, I just think that's really odd. And especially if this was the first time, I would think that we would get some sort of notification, but I just don't know. But I think collectors need to know out there that these fees could be coming their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to be aware.
And I don't know if things are just going up in general. Some people were saying so I get a lot of Prime 1 pieces. Shipping in the past, except for my croc, has been around $40 to $80, depending on the size of the box. And there's people in the panel, you guys can agree with me on that's about what you've paid.
That's what I've paid. Yep.
From Sideshow. Well, people that have been getting some Prime 1 pieces in this week are saying that it's around $150, $160 for that one box. So I'm a little bit nervous too as to why maybe shipping costs have been raised really high. Again, I know Prime 1 boxes are really big, but my next piece I think will be Catwoman, and I'm really anxious to hear about the shipping cost. So if the shipping cost was that much from Sideshow, what would you guys do? Would you guys still be ordering the same way, or would you be a little bit more cautious with how you ordered?
I wonder if they're front loading that though with the fee. So if all of these are coming from China, which all the factories by and large are Chinese factories, and they're all coming from that particular area, then let's say Prime 1 just ships it out automatically from there, and then there's an import fee for that, and you're left with that bill. Well, Sideshow, as the business is getting it into their borders in the States and their U.S. based business, and you wonder if they're not having to pay those same import fees, and then they're just tacking that onto the shipping, and that's why that cost has gone up. Because I know that the Iron Studios piece that I got with that Batman, and it's a huge piece, don't get me wrong, but I forget what the shipping was on that, but it was over $150 for sure. It was closer to maybe 180. I don't know. It was a ridiculous amount of what I paid for shipping for that piece too, and you just wonder if that isn't a part of it. Of course, that was even before January 1, so hard to say, but I wonder if that some of that isn't them preparing for those fees if they're getting them.
Well, that sure makes sense to me.
Yeah, makes sense to me too.
I hadn't thought of that, but absolutely because Sideshow's not going to eat that cost.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
As a business, why would they? I mean, they're going to pass that on to their customer, that is ordering the statue.
Sure.
Yeah, I think if these higher fees are coming like they are from Prime 1 too, I almost wish Prime 1 would do it the same way. Like put them in the installments.
Yeah, I agree.
Put them at the end. Yeah.
You wonder if they don't know. You wonder if it's done by weight, or okay, so it comes across and, you said.
Or dimension.
Yeah, and there's some sort of variable, it's going to be within this range based on that dimension, coming through customs, probably some human error there or some error with measurement and what that is, and someone does a little bit different, whatnot. But you said you got a different price than what Thomas got, and we know Thomas, just his own omission, lives next to Sideshow, right?
Yeah, he's in California. He's right down the road. Yep.
So and so obviously it traveled further for you than it did for him, and he got a higher bill.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know, but I think you're exactly right, and I really agree with Rodney. I think that if the company would say right up front, this is how much you're going to pay in fees and shipping, and have that be part of the schedule, that just makes sense. That makes sense to me.
It has to be that way. I mean, you can't be, people getting blindsided. We're all budgeting, right? I mean, whether we have a strict budget or, we have payments, however we do it, everybody only has so much money they can spend. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, you tack on this surprise, and next thing you know, you've lost the cost of one statue, from just fees that you just didn't know about. So now you're having to rethink everything. And if you'd have known ahead of time, you could have adjusted and sort of said, you know what, I can live without this, Daredevil piece, and I can get this Batman and pay that. I mean, that's something that needs to be told. I mean, going into it shouldn't be a blindside type thing.
Yeah. Well, and I hear collector after collector say, well, because of prices, instead of getting all of these statues a year, I'm going to have to get like 4 or 5 statues a year.
Yep.
Well, now if you have to worry about all the import fees that we're not used to having, and again, if you're international, I know that you guys have been dealing with this for a long time, but for us, it's something brand new. And so, that's, like you said, that instead of getting 4 statues, now I'm going to have to get 3.
Yep.
And which sucks, but then also I would think that would suck a little bit for the companies because they're not going to be selling as many statues.
Yeah, it's true too.
Very true.
But I don't know.
I mean, all these companies are doing other things too. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the shipping costs and the customs fees, but they are giving out, like Sideshow does the reward points. I know Prime One is doing rewards. They have the sales. So these things do help, but I don't know that it's enough for me to continue to collect like I had used to collect. For me, my collecting game has changed big time.
Absolutely. We're going to get into that here in just a second. I do want to say hello to PJ. He just did a $1 super chat, so thank you very much, PJ, in the chat there. That's awesome.
Oh, PJ.
I hope he has pants on tonight. But anyway, now I tell you guys, if you have not watched Friday Night Open Mic Night, you guys are missing out. The guys in this panel right here, I highly recommend it. It is my favorite show on YouTube to watch. And bottom line, there is usually no pants, no shirts, no service. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you're going to get drive-through Wendy's, and I love it. So
I will second that. I mean, it's an event for me. Like when Friday rolls around, I know what I'm doing on Friday night. Because honestly, it's that good. I mean, I of all the statue chats out there, I mean, honestly, it's the one that if weekly that I catch every week.
Yeah, I want you guys to watch this one, but definitely watch that one. That one should be a priority on Friday night. There's nothing else to do on Friday nights anyway. You need watch these guys. They're awesome.
Exactly.
Just ignore blindness may occur.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Clothing definitely optional on Friday.
Absolutely.
We apologize in advance.
That's too funny. Well, before we go on, I believe Mr. Lawrence, he would like to do a giveaway tonight. Lawrence, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you have to give away? And this is going to go to somebody in the chat.
Yeah, sure. So and probably a lot of people who watch your channel or within Batman Statue Collector already have this, but I have an extra copy still wrapped in the cellophane of Alan Moore and Brian Boland's Batman the Killing Joke, the deluxe version that's hardback. It's just an extra one someone got me for Christmas. Didn't realize I already had it. They didn't, and so I've got this, and we'll be doing that giveaway tonight. I can just pop this in some sort of envelope, and I'll cover shipping here in the States, but whoever wins this, we can work.
We'll have to pay custom fees.
Right, yep, pay the custom fees. I'm not doing that.
$60 customs.
That's it. $60 custom fee with the giveaway, just so you know. And we'll just work through Chris or whatever, for whoever wins it. If you want to send your address to Chris, and he can figure out how to get that to me, and we talk offline, and we'll get it to whoever is going to win.
So basically, a couple things you have to do. We're going to do probably like a little trivia question here in just a bit. All you have to do is be in the chat. You have to comment, and you also have to make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you do that if you would. That will ensure that you have an entry into winning that. And if you are the winner, and Lawrence, I'm going to let you randomly pick somebody. So that'll be up to you tonight.
No, wait a minute. No. You do that. I ain't doing that shit.
Nah.
You take it off.
Oh, Johnny Waddell, he just super chatted us $2, and he said, $2, take that, PJ. So, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Like a telethon.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Pay for those import fees.
So cool. I know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you see,
guys.
Batman statue collectors got plenty of import fees coming up. So
I know. Jeez, I do, man. But anyway, I was going to say that if you are the winner tonight, send it to thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and I'll get your address, and we'll get that sent out to you. So, Lawrence, again, thank you for offering that. That's awesome.
Happy to do it.
nice.
Good luck, everyone.
All right, so segueing from the topic of the import fees and stuff, and this kind of might weigh in a little bit, but the other question that somebody in my group asked this week is, do we have any changes to our focuses in 2019? It is a new year, and with the statue prices rising and other issues, or maybe life changes or whatever's going on, sometimes we have to. I'm sorry, Paradigm. We just did another $2. He said, hashtag FTWs. That's awesome. You guys are crazy. That's right. That's awesome. Anyway, so what kind of changes to your focus do you guys have in 2019? Are you going to be making any changes? I definitely might be changing something to my focus, and I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you guys have in mind for 2019?
Well, for me, I'm trying to hunt down this Gamorrean guard so I can finish my Mythos line. Mostly it's older pieces. I'm trying to fill in, some spots. I only have currently, since Maul is coming soon. That's pretty much over with. I only really have one pre-order, after that. So it's getting a little bit more careful, selection type of situation, So
Is that because of space or money? Or both?
I think it's more space, I guess, because it's the walls are definitely closing in, and it's more Star Wars stuff I do want to get, and that's becoming Obi-Wan's really a problem because he don't want to fit in no case or nothing. So but space mostly, and it's like, it's stuff I want and I can't fit everything in here, or I really got to get creative, because you see I'm rearranging stuff already. So,
Well, like I know when you bought that Medusa, like, are there still pieces out there that you might get kind of like one-off pieces, or are you pretty much Star Wars focused going forward?
Really, I do want the other version of her, which would really be interesting. Actually, what I could do is I could put them like next to each other, just have a wider base for the TV. But if I ever had a chance to get it, I definitely had to hop on it. I've been thinking about getting this one painted to look like that one, but which would be a whole hell of a lot easier. But if it ever came up, I'd probably go for it. But those are really rare, so who knows? But mostly Star Wars is the focus here.
Yeah. How about you, Rick? I know you're definitely going through kind of a transition of what you're collecting and kind of your focus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I'm having some of the same problems everybody else is. I mean, it's space. I've only got so much space. My collecting area is not a big area. I don't live in a big house, so I don't have a lot of space to start with. So, it's about I'm having to sort of be practical and sort of just smart about where I put stuff. And I don't want to overwhelm it. I mean, sure, I could stack statues up to the ceiling and just pile them everywhere, but there's a point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And I'm a big comic book reader anyway, so to me, the statues are starting to get a little bit, a little bit expensive for my taste. Can I afford them? Sure, but do I want to? Is the real question. When you get to the point where PFs are getting up around 600, and you look at it and you go, do I really want to pay $600 for one of these things? And not to take anything away from Sideshow or anything like that, but there's been some issues lately where you'll have a piece on pre-order and then all of a sudden you get the production and it's just not the same as what it started out as. So it's kind of that kind of factors in, and it's just like you get all hyped about it and excited, and then it comes in, you're paying $600, you get it there, and it's not what you wanted. And then Prime 1's prices are going up, and like you said, shipping and everything. So it's really making it to where I'm having to really think hard about getting more than just like one or maybe two statues a year at that. I mean, even maybe just one, just to sort of kind of take my time and just sort of make sure I have to have something. And to be honest with you, right now, I mean, I got one statue on pre-order, and I may not have another one for a while. I don't know that I'll have another statue for another 12 months because I just don't know that there's anything that I'm willing to spend that money on. I like comics and I like to kind of read those, and so I guess I'm probably just more changing my focus just in general and with my hobby is a little bit away from statues and more toward other stuff. So that's kind of where I am. I mean, it's not that I'm sad about it or frustrated about it. It's just that I've kind of hit a good spot where I don't really need to have anything else. And I think it's kind of a little bit refreshing in a way, where before, everybody knows when you first start out, you start buying stuff and you go crazy. And you have to kind of slow yourself down. And then you get to a point where you're just like, man, I have to love something and I got to slow down. And then it sort of makes you appreciate the ones you get a little bit more, I think, when you're more patient with it. So I think I'm going for more of a patient kind of outlook from now on. So not to talk too long, but that's pretty much where I'm going. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a smart way to do it. I think when prices were cheaper, you just bought whatever you wanted, and you didn't really care. It's like, oh, I like it, but it's not a must. But I think now collectors are definitely the pieces that they have in their collection are ones they really love.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you can't. I mean, there's always going to be people that can't afford to buy whatever they want. I'm very blessed, but I can't buy everything I want, but I have to be smart with my decisions, but I think people are definitely right now appreciating their pieces even more than they ever have before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about the rest of you guys? Do you guys have any focus changes or plans for 2019?
I want to sell it all. Sell it all.
No.
Digging that wall, stir fire.
I just filmed a room tour, and all I got to do is just get the camera and just kind of do a circle. I mean, it's a small room and it's packed, like you were just saying. It is packed to the ceiling. I don't know. I bought like one statue last year, and there's a few coming in, but I feel like I just want to reduce it quite a bit and consolidate it. Just kind of make it. I don't know. Just focus, because when I first started out, it was mainly DC, but then you see room tours like Adam here, and I'm like, man. That's what I wanted, but I didn't want to pay those crazy prices for Gambit. I was like, nah, I can't do it. And I even told my wife, I was like, no, I'll never get into X-Men because I like all the X-Men, and that would just be crazy. Next thing you know, got a room full of statues anyway. So I'm thinking about changing my focus, and I also agree with Rick as well. Like comics are kind of like my thing too, so I think that's probably where a lot of my focus will be. I'm probably going to cut down on new issues. I'm thinking about just cutting statues and new comics and just going for those certain comics that I've always wanted my entire life. Plus, I got a baby. I got Hellboy statues in the bedroom. They can't even fit in here. I got a storage area with like the Bullseye comic yet. He's in there all by himself. But
I'm actually wanting to get a Hellboy. That's like the next one on my list. I don't have a long list. I have like 2 statues on it, but that's one of the things I want in my collection. I don't have.
Yeah. What do you look for?
Yeah, which one?
Well, honestly, I mean, I'm a comic guy first, so I would prefer a comic Hellboy. And I have heard rumors that Prime One might be making one.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So if they are, then God help me, because I don't know what I mean, it's going to, by that time, it's probably going to be $1,500 for a brand new 1/3 scale. So I'll just be like, I better start saving now. So what I got,
Sideshow Magnolia one is awesome. So get that.
Oh yeah, exactly. I know Chronicle's making a Hellboy statue from the new movie, so I guess I'll see how that looks. Because I mean, I'm a movie guy too, but I'm just a comic guy first.
Yeah.
But
do you like the look? Do you like the look of that new movie?
I think it looks fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. But then again, I'm not one of those guys that's just going to nitpick every comic interpretation of every character. I mean, obviously, I would rather everything be closer to the comics. I mean, there's never going to be a time when I'm going to be like, yeah, I wish it was less like the comics, because I would just prefer the comics. But I don't think it looks bad. But then again, you can't tell from trailers, It's just like, whatever. It's just like, I don't like how the Joker looks in the new Joker movie. I just don't care for it. But I may love the movie, so never know.
Open mind.
That's right. Absolutely. Stir Fry, you mentioned you had a couple more pieces coming in. What do you have up next?
All X-Men stuff, like Adam. I got the White Magneto coming, and the Gambit from XM Studios, and whenever that comes, and the Cyclops. That's probably my most wanted piece ever. It's the Cyclops. So.
Did you get the 2 torso?
Yeah, I did.
That's the
Bill
one.
Elixir. I don't know why. I plan on just getting one, Scott Summers, so that's the one. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
I've been wanting one for a long time. And I'll tell you when I saw the original PF at like a used bookstore. I got a lot of my omnibuses and stuff. And they had one in a glass case like, 5 years ago, like the original PF. And it was like a sale. I probably could have got it for $200. I was like, that's crazy. I'm not doing that. That's way too expensive. So I walked past it. Because I was collecting like black and whites at the time, you know? So.
Yeah, that 2 torso is really nice.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That's
that'll be a cool piece. That'll be real good.
Well, we always talk about that. People say, well, I remember a time when I thought, man, these statues are so expensive. But you think about it, there's somebody out there right now that's looking at a pop at Walmart thinking, this is way too expensive, guys. I don't think I'll ever get there. So, right. I mean, we're pretty fortunate if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I felt that way about this hobby 2 years ago when I first started.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way I test the temperature is like I'll just ask somebody like, "Hey, do you think how much do you think this costs?" And they're like $300, and I'm like, "Try 1,500," and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nuts. I'm fucking crazy. Why am I doing this?"
Yeah.
So.
That's why I don't tell anybody, because if I do, they're gonna look at me like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Ugh, gee, Merry Christmas. How about Jeff? Do you have any focus changes? Are you still pretty much Marvel?
I've got the Green Arrow pre-ordered from Sideshow.
Beautiful piece.
Me too.
That's awesome.
I'm supposed to get the quarter scale Thanos from Iron Studios from a local store. I'm looking forward to that. He's supposed to be pretty big, so that's the only 2 statues I've got. I've got the quarter scale Ledger Joker Hot Toy whenever it gets released, and that's all I've got ordered.
I did see, in Hot Toys they do that thing where they line up all the ones that are coming out soon. They did have that. They did just have that maybe a week or so ago. They had that Joker shown, so I would assume it's going to be out. Hopefully,
they changed it to March or April.
Oh wow!
There was a delay email came maybe around Christmas.
Did you get the
right
Batman Christmas one?
Yes.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
I like that. That looks cool. Big bat.
That's cool. Anybody else we didn't hear from? Tim or Rodney?
Tim, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my 2019 is going to be the same as my 2018. Which, I mean, I feel like I'm finishing off my pre-orders from 2018. My 2019 is going to be super slow, man. I'm expecting my first child in June. So
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Your life is about to change.
Yeah, it's about to change. But, so now we're going to have a firm confirmation. Like, I don't want to be one of those guys that sells my whole collection because I have a kid. I would rather just slow down and make sure that everything is right and good. And I'm pretty confident that we'll be all right. But
well, I'll tell you this: that I have 2 kids, and I feared the same thing. I said, budget-wise, am I going to have to do that? And it's always on the back of my mind. But don't do that until you know where you are. Don't just keep your stuff, and if worse comes to worse, then you can do stuff like that. But you can make it work.
Yeah, I just had a kid months ago, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, maybe I should just sell everything. I'll just sell it all. But then,
I saw that little baby in your Halloween video.
I think, she's awesome. 6 months is great. She starts grabbing things, but I like barricade the door, just keep her out of here. She can't walk yet, but I'm fearful. But
and you should
have to worry about after you have a kid is just the dirty looks from your wife. So that's all you really got.
My wife is
get a new box in, just be prepared.
Yeah, she's surprisingly sweet. My wife, I think I'm a little bit more aggressive than her for sure. She's a little bit more passive, but I'll definitely be getting a fingerprint lock for the door down here. that's a for sure thing happening.
A retina scanner.
That's right. Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome,
Professor.
Well, I'll say this: I think I'm more dangerous than my children because my kids run through where my statues are all the time. They haven't broke a single thing and I mean they're wild as they can be. And I've broken several things. So yeah, so I must be lucky because I'm stupid for breaking stuff probably more than anything. But I've broken plenty of stuff and I've had to repair stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you might get lucky. Your kids might not break anything. They might just be fine. So
yeah,
who knows?
That's right. Ronnie, did you have a chance to go about 2019?
Yeah, so I think 2019 is probably my last year for buying like a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm going to be slowing down after that. I still got a lot of stuff coming in that I ordered in 2018, but I have a list of definite pre-orders for 2019. It sucks that 4 of them are Prime 1, so I may get real cozy with that import fee. We'll see. But after that, like 2020, I don't see me buying more than 2 statues a year because I'm to a point where I love everything I have, and I'm not one of those who's looking to sell and trade out and stuff. I don't want to get into the sell game, so I look forward to the point where I have everything I love, and then I can concentrate on setting it up to display the way I like. Yeah. And I'm getting close to that, getting real close to that. So,
yeah. Well, for me, I think my 2019, the main focus is Prime 1 and movie pieces. I have some of the movie pieces on pre-order. I do have the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. But the comic pieces are speaking to me a lot more. I just really think that they're great, and I just don't have the room for everything. So that's kind of where I'm at of whether I will get the Dark Knight Rises pieces that I think are pretty great. I'm also still kind of considering whether I want to keep these back here. After I got the Arkham Joker in, this Joker back here was my first piece, and it's still phenomenal. But when I compare it to the Prime 1 pieces, this Prime 1 Joker just blows it out of the water to me. And so I'm just debating whether I should change this out or not. It's hard. I know some collectors have, but I don't know. It's going to be tough for me to decide that.
I vote keep it.
Yeah.
I vote keep it. Yeah.
Couldn't get rid of that Joker. I love that
Joker.
Well, what I'd probably do is if I did decide not to do this display anymore, because I thought about putting on my Arkham pieces here at the front and kind of doing something different. But if I did keep this collection, I would keep the Joker and I would keep Bane. This is standalone pieces because they're my 2 favorite, and I don't know if I could ever really part with them.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, Chris. When I think Batman statue collector, I think that setup behind you, man.
100%.
Like that's like first thing comes to mind is that because it's very unique the way you set that up. So me personally, I wouldn't get rid of it.
Well, it's just one of those things where I feel like, I like that Catwoman. Mr. Freeze is going to come out. I just don't know if with the prices they are, do I want to spend $700 or $800 on a Mr. Freeze? Or do I want to buy a Prime 1 statue that I love probably more? So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't know. Just it really is going to come down, like you said, it's going to come down to space. That's why I'm thinking about maybe canceling the movie pieces, because I think if I do that, that would give me more room for the comic pieces that I seem to like more. So
those busts look like they're taking up a lot of room, though. Maybe you should get rid of those busts. That's a lot of space there.
It's amazing. I always think how these things are massive, but they're smaller than the Prime 1 pieces. So I always but yeah, those aren't going anywhere. Sorry, but
can they go on top of that case?
They could go up there. That'd give me a little bit more space, to put something on. The thing is, I feel like if I put a Prime 1 over here, there would just be such a big size difference that I think it would look weird. But I just think that these go. I mean, they're all sculpted by the same people, so it's I just feel like they go well together. But
they do.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So anyway, it looks like 2019 will be an interesting year for all of us. Sounds like a lot of people are kind of slowing down. trying to focus a little bit more on the pieces that they love the most, because again, with the prices. So again, it'll be an interesting 2019. And speaking of 2019, I did have a request to kind of go through the Sideshow 12 days of Sideshow. If you guys are cool with that, and give me your opinions on those pieces. Again, I know that some of you have already kind of talked about it on your show, but I'm a little late to the game. Again, being sick last week. So anyway, I'll try to pull these up here.
Nice cherry blossoms.
Yeah. Guess my wife's laptop. So she's got some cherry blossoms. Is that showing on your screen, guys?
Yeah, Batgirl.
Batgirl. Yeah. All right. So this was the first one. Batgirl came up day one. Again, part of that new line. What do you guys think of this one?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't like anything about it, to be honest with you.
No.
I don't like the costume. I don't like the way she's posed. I don't like the fact that she's in this exclusive portrait. She's smiling. I don't like that. Why is she smiling? Explain that to me. I don't understand.
That's the one I don't understand either. Like I think that the regular face looks fine, but I just don't know why. She's crashing through a window. She's not going to be happy.
Yeah, why is she smiling? There's nothing about that. That's not menacing. Can you imagine? That's how Batman enters a ceiling of he's grinning as he comes down, smashing someone in the face. I don't know. It's just awkward to me. Everything about it. It's just awkward. I hate to see that.
Maybe she just got gassed or something.
I just noticed the hair. Yeah, I just noticed the hair is different. Did you guys notice that?
The hair.
I didn't even it's lighter. The exclusive's a lighter red.
And it's curly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's more of that classic Batgirl, maybe, but
yeah, I don't like it.
Maybe she's happy she just got it done.
Yeah.
So
I know a lot of collectors too have said that they don't understand why they didn't do the gloves and the chest emblem yellow. Because that's more of the modern comic look, but I know that she is kind of Sideshow's own take on it.
I mean, they could have if they were going to do the modern comic look, they could have actually just done the modern comic look. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Sideshow doesn't know what a comic book is half the time, so I don't even want to get into that. But that's a whole nother animal.
I do kind of like how they had her arms back. I think it's a unique pose. It's not a boring museum pose, at least, but
I don't mind it. I think the only thing that is weird to me is the smile, the smiling face. But it's not something that was ever a threat to get. So
me. Okay, I'm not interested at all in it either.
How much is this one too? Is it? I forgot how much it was. If they have released it, right?
Yeah, she's up for pre-order. Was she 600 or something? Maybe.
It was 575 and 575, something like that.
Oh gosh, no, hell no.
Yeah,
hell no.
Yeah, too much for my blood. How about this guy?
Oh my gosh,
this riding these boy right here.
12 to 1400.
I have this rule. Once a year, I will make an exception on price, and I'm hoping this. I'm hoping this is over my price, so I can easily say no to it. Because if it's under what I'm willing, price-wise, my limit, then I'm probably gonna get it, even if it's 100 under. So I really hope this costs a lot.
You know what the problem with this is, right? It's called maquette.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, they've been all over the place. They've been everywhere from $650 to $1,200 for maquette. So when I hear maquette, I don't automatically jump to, it's going to be expensive.
But it's Hulk.
But it'll be somewhere between $650 and $1,250 probably. I'm hoping it's $1,250
because it's Hulk. Yeah, because it's Hulk, it's got to be $1,250. I mean,
Hulk versus Wolverine.
Hulk's so big.
How much they charge for Doomsday?
12.
That was 12. That's why I could say no to it.
Yeah, it was 12. Doomsday was 12. This joke is going easily.
Doomsday was $1,250.
It'll be 13 to 14. That's what I mean.
I got to see the size.
I think they're going to hit us with the high price and the low edition size, and that thing will sell out on the first day, and then the regular will be like Thanos, 2,000, 3,000.
You're right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, spot on.
Have we heard about what the base is going to be like on this thing?
No clue.
Probably a smoke base. It's gonna have lots of smoke.
Yeah, and a weird window.
The alternate smiley face in the window.
It's gonna have a smiley face.
I heard a rumor it's like supposed to be a Silver Surfer base or something.
Something based on a comic.
I think
cool.
the rumor is that it's based on the comic.
Matt, stop jinxing me. I already have my pre-orders. I don't want to add it.
Let's wish for 800.
Yeah, okay. Here's the next one, Mr. Freeze. I feel like people either absolutely love this or absolutely hate it. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think it's all right, but
I'm a wait. I mean, I was really against it at first, but like Gio brought up a good point. This is just a drawing, and it's not like the actual statue or whatever. So I'm gonna wait and see. Before I pass real judgment. But right now it's kind of lukewarm.
Do you like the outfit or not? Because that's usually what people are pissed about.
It's I don't know. To me, it's just the armor just doesn't do it for me, man. It's like, and it's not. I think the problem is the Prime 1 kind of spoiled me because the Prime 1 was so cool, and he's just like, so. I don't know.
Yeah, this one's definitely dumbed down compared to that piece, but I do think that it feels like the animated series to me.
Exactly.
So I think I really like the suit design. I mean, yes, it could have been more, but I don't know. I find it interesting in its simplicity, I guess.
Well, isn't that it's kind of interesting if it reminds everybody of the animated series? I mean, they have an animated series line at 1/5 scale, so why waste your energy on making this look like that? I mean, to me, it just doesn't look like my Mr. Freeze, like how I imagined. But maybe someone else looks at that and says that's exactly how I'm imagining, but not me. So.
I think the headband's pretty close, and the red goggles, and that's kind of like New 52 looking stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit New 52 there, probably. Yeah,
maybe they're balancing out, and they know, this many collectors will collect the classic, this many will collect an animated series, this many will collect a modern suit. Let's try to amalgamation of it, and maybe if we get 40% of each, we're overplaying our field. Because we're not going to make another Mr. Freeze, so let's try to get as many from each of these groups as we can.
I feel like they had to go different than Prime 1 though, because if they went with the Prime 1 type outfit, people would have to hate on them, and they would have gotten trashed.
But it wasn't just the outfit. I mean, it was the snow and the ice and
but you don't see the whole base yet.
Well, I know. I can see a little bit of ice. Yeah, you're right. But it's just on that one, it was just like.
Don't you think they're going to go the same route? The swap out will be him holding Nora.
We'll see.
That would be pretty. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe somebody's frozen in the base underneath him.
Ooh, that could be cool.
That would be fucking.
That'd have been cool. They had in the background, kind of like
Robin down there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was the first thing I thought. Giving us a ride. Sideshow. You got a new art director right here.
There you go.
As long as DC says it's a go.
That's right.
There, you finally get your Robin.
Yeah, there you go. Frozen Robin.
Obstacle Rock.
Shame on them.
But I don't know anything about PCS Street Fighter, so if you guys want to comment on this one, I'm surprised that it's just a drawing.
This is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that they released this for 12 days. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the way PCS does the Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat just because it's too clean to me. But yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, anybody else?
Definitely easy pass.
I mean, I like Street Fighter, but it wouldn't be my character anyway. But I just don't understand why it's part of the 12 days. Unless you could just argue that eventually Sideshow's going to own PCS, which is what everybody says. So maybe that's going to happen one day. I don't know, but
I feel like that's why they put it in that 12 days.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
It's basically theirs right now. Is the way it sounds. It's like they're doing everything, except for the actual. Design and production of the piece. I guess they're taking care of the shipping and all the customer service. So, yeah.
Next up, we have the Drew Barrymore statue.
Yep, Drew Barrymore.
Oh wow! Now she does look like Drew to me.
Yeah,
I feel like it's Drew Barrymore.
I think you're right.
That's just the way I see it. But
yeah,
I like Drew, but I don't want this.
Yeah,
I would take a Drew Barrymore statue. I don't even care which movie. I just like Drew Barrymore, but I don't like this.
An official 51st date statue.
Yeah, 51st dates. Yeah.
Her and Adam.
I love that movie.
I'm a pretty big fan of Fever Pitch too.
That's a good pick. Yeah, that's a good one.
But I'm a baseball fan.
Wayne Singer's good.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
Fire
not big
starter.
There you go.
No, Ronnie, what did you say?
I was just saying I'm not big enough in the Thundercats to really.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I'm a He-Man guy, not a Thundercats. So unfortunately,
Come on with Panthro. I'm be in for that one.
There was
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thundercats was great for 1 week.
Yeah.
The week of the trial. That was my week for Thundercats.
I think this one's pretty cool. Alien Mythos.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nothing wrong with it.
No.
It's
It
fine.
looked cool on Sideshow Live. I don't like the dark black eyes that they showed, but
That's under the dome, right? Like the skull.
yeah, the skull. I mean, I like when the skull is all the same color, and they really made the eyes and like the nose prominently dark, like painted in.
Was the dome like plastic?
It's like like a clear shell.
Huh.
Well, I've got an issue with this, and it's an issue I have with all the alien stuff. Where's Ripley at?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I watch Alien, I mean, I like the original Alien. That's the one I like. I mean, I know everybody has their different opinions on which one, but man, I mean, to me, she's the star. I mean, sorry. So I just feel like she gets overlooked. I mean, we see how many Alien pieces have we seen over the years, and where's she at? I mean, I've seen a hot toy of her, you know, and it's frustrating because you know, there's going to be people out there that's probably waiting for that, and it's like, how many aliens can we make? I mean, Sideshow doesn't have to do it because Sideshow, you know, with movie likenesses isn't always spot on. But I mean, can you imagine like Prime One doing a Ripley? You know, like just as an example, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, she's one of the first
company for that. You know,
sometimes I wonder if maybe it's easier for any company to sculpt the alien than to sculpt Sigourney Weaver's face.
You think maybe Sigourney Weaver has something to do with it?
Yeah, it could be her not doing likenesses. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't see a lot of her from Ghostbusters either.
No,
That's true.
That's a good point.
Did you guys see the Ghostbusters teaser today?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either. I heard about it though.
It's really brief. Ivan Reitman's son is going to be directing, and it is going to be the third movie. Like it, you know, as soon as Ghostbusters 2 in New York, it takes place, you know, 30 years afterward. The one with the girls is not canon, so that did not take place in that universe. So
it should have taken place in this universe.
It's not canon.
I was gonna say that when you were talking about Ripley, Rogue, because she was like one of the first non-manufactured like female heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't forced, you know. Like she was naturally like
she was.
A hero. You just loved her.
Yep.
And you know, I agree, man, that
She's
for people
brilliant.
who are diehard, they need to really, really hook them up.
They do. I mean, she's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I love everything about her in those movies. I think it would be the perfect for anybody that likes those movies. That would be the perfect statue to have.
It'd make a good diorama to have her and
Newt and the Queen alien, a diorama.
Oh, that'd
I
be
think
cool.
they got don't they got one with the loader and the Queen?
Yeah, some company like
Hot Toys made the loader.
No, Sideshow made one. And yeah, they got a dial.
yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, what about this one, guys? Alex Ross, we need said that he wants to go back and start collecting some of these Alex Ross prints.
Yeah. I mean, I do like Alex Ross, but only on certain things. I mean, for me, it's just it's more a matter of I would rather just collect the He-Man stuff from him. I've got the Justice League art print that Sideshow did, so I don't feel like I need a Superman or a Batman by itself. I've got essentially the Magnificent Seven in that art print that they did initially, and I feel like that's the only one I needed. Like I can't think of any other area where I'm like, oh gee, I really need an Alex Ross other than Masters of the Universe one, just because those are the two main things I collect: Batman and Masters of the Universe. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like the Alex Ross. So.
All right, how about this one, guys? Thanos Legendary Scale bust.
Feels like a cash grab.
Yeah. Don't do bust.
Of course it
is. And I mean, I'm a Legendary Scale bust collector. I have a ton of Legendary Scale busts, and this would normally be like right up my alley, but it's like, geez, man. I mean, could it look any more like the premium format or the Mechat?
Yeah.
And it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. It's Thanos.
It lights up, I'm sure.
Yeah, but then you got to weigh, like, really a Legendary Scale. So it's a half scale bust and it's going to cost $1,000. Why wouldn't I just get life size Venom?
Yeah,
because I saw that in person, and that's like well worth the money that they're asking, which is
Definitely.
a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like, what pocket are they going to hit? 700? It's like, really, 700? That's a lot too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a rough one.
So these are the Avengers Assemble statues. So these are smaller scale. I don't know if any of you guys are collecting. I don't know anybody that is really.
I've got the Captain America, but that's the only one.
Would you consider getting any other ones?
No.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. No. This one kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I like this one.
I don't even know.
I don't know why. This one's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
what is that? Like, I don't even know what that is.
She's from
John Carter.
John Carter,
John
Mars.
Carter.
Yeah, this one
Edgar
might
Rice
find
Burroughs.
this one might find its way into the Death Star.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, what's not to like about that? Honestly,
I don't know who she is.
It doesn't matter who she is. What matters is our plan.
These I'm kind of interested in a little bit. These are part of the animated series collection. I was not a giant fan of the Batman, and I'm not sure if I love the Joker either, but
Harley's great.
Harley's great. I really think that they captured her really well here.
Yeah, that's the Bruce Timm Harley for sure. I think that. I think that's a really well done with that. So
I love it, but I don't collect 1/5. But if I did, that would be one I would want. I wish that was in quarter scale because that would be the definitive Harley. I just love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that too because there's a few 1/5 pieces, but man, I just rather buy the third scale, you know.
I am starting to dig that scale. I am starting to dig that 1/5 scale. I mean, I think that they've been able to produce some really quality top pieces at that scale. I mean, I think the Masters of the Universe line at that scale, and then Prime One is going to come out with their 1/5 line.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a more cost-effective, and then I think even maybe a more space-effective.
Oh, for sure.
Scale that a lot of people could gravitate to. If you haven't got into the game already, and now you're just looking to get into the game, and you're beyond your gateway drug of buying Batman black and whites, and you're going into the next thing. And you can't do a quarter scale and you can't do a third scale because you feel like those prices are astronomical. That 1/5 scale is a good option, I think.
I feel like whenever a lot of collectors 5 or 6 years ago were starting, then they would buy every Sideshow 1/4 scale. I feel like that's what could happen with this 1/5. I feel like we're going to see walls of 1/5 scale now because that's what people can afford. But
well, I mean, got to bring up Tweeterhead with 1/6. I mean, what they're doing, you could get by with just 1/6 from Tweeterhead, and you would have an amazing collection of comic book statues.
Yep.
So
100%. Yeah.
Good price
Absolutely.
too on those.
The price on those is
Affordable.
great. Yeah, I mean they've done a really good job of keeping production costs down, and they've also done right by their customers. There was issues with the Superman from whatever reason from a production standpoint, and they're just going to remake them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
We're gonna have Chad back on the show hopefully soon. Hopefully he can address some of those things because I've never heard of a company doing that. But wow, it's just amazing.
It is.
They'd start back from scratch. That's pretty awesome.
That's really great.
This was the last day. This is the Juggernaut maquette. What do we think of this one? Again, maquette is the key word there.
I'll get it.
I want it, but I'm not going to pay for it. So unless somebody gives me one, it's not happening.
I agree.
I have no interest in Juggernaut.
Oh.
What?
None.
Nah, I'm with you, Rodney. Me either, man.
I'd rather get Hulk than that Juggernaut if I had to choose between the maquettes. So
I actually like the Juggernaut better than the Hulk, but that's just me.
Yeah. I think I'd have to go Hulk.
I have a thing with math. Like Juggernaut's face is covered up. Hulk is space is there. Yeah.
I do like all the bits coming off of him. I think that looks really cool. But I think Hulk will probably be the more popular.
Yeah, it will.
I don't know, man. The way people was losing their mind off of this Juggernaut.
X-Men is the new cool thing, bro.
And I think are there many Juggernauts out there?
I'm about to say
this is
like
the only
80. It's
this
80
is the only
Hulks,
licensed.
so,
This is the
so
only licensed Juggernaut on the market in quarter scale.
Yeah, so Juggernaut will get some serious play because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. How about we give away a Killing Joke? What do you guys think?
Sounds great.
All right, so I'm going to say if you are the first in the chat, hopefully that will work. If you are the first in the chat to tell me who is the author of the Killing Joke.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun,
Google machines rolling.
Have to wait for the delay.
How many,
Yeah, let's see if there's a
how
delay.
many people are Googling right now?
All right, Red
Get the
Hood.
Google out.
Alan Moore, that's right. Yep, Red Hood got it. Red Hood, if you would send me your address to thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and I'll contact Lawrence, and we'll get that shipped out to you. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Cool.
How much
Very
you guys
cool.
want to bet Red Hood already owns that book? He's got it.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Come on, Red Hood.
He's got it.
Yeah, well, now he'll have a second one. He'll sell or give it away or something. So
Yeah, pass it on to the next.
That's right. That'd be cool.
Book's gonna make it
Congrats,
around
Red
the
Hood.
world. We're just
That's
gonna
right. I think I have at least 4 different copies of that book in different versions, but you can't go wrong having multiple Killing Jokes.
The way I look at it, there's no better way to change the world than sending a book about a serial killer around the world to everyone to inspire them.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
So what I had wanted, apparently they've made a novel version of this.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's any good. I don't even know who the author is, to be honest with you. It's just something that I had mentioned to someone in passing, and they just ended up picking up the wrong thing, which totally cool. But I thought, hey, they've made a novel version of it. That might be interesting. Might check it out. So one of these days I'll probably pick that up and read it.
Yeah, like
Have you read it, Jeff?
No, but it keeps coming up on my Amazon, like as a recommended, suggested for you.
Did they add to it? Like, did they make it
It's like
more
a
of a
big,
longer story?
it's like a 300-page book, right? So like an actual,
Wow.
yeah.
So
So
there's.
I'm sure Alan Moore's pissed about it. So
Here, I'm gonna select you, Jeff.
That's right. Good.
Okay, you're on, Jeff. That is cool. I've seen that. I didn't realize it was a novel.
nice cover.
It's a cool cover. Yeah, that's awesome.
By Krista Faust and Gary Phillips.
Very I'm gonna put that on my wish list. That'll be cool.
$16.48. It can be yours from Amazon.
There you
Not
go.
bad.
Free 2-day shipping.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but custom fees.
$66.
The FedEx envelope right here. We got it right there.
Let's hope it hasn't touched Amazon yet.
Amazon just
I'm
calls
certified.
Amazon just calls that a Prime fee.
Prime fees.
$30 a year for that Prime.
Has anybody else noticed from Prime One's website? I looked this week at their reward points that you get, that you can only use 20% of whatever you're buying, the value of it, even if you have enough reward points to cover the whole statue.
Are you
You
serious?
couldn't use it.
What? Why?
Yes.
Why?
That's what it says.
Shame
Because
on
it
you,
will-
Prime One.
Yeah, that's some fuckery.
I didn't know that one. You say so. That's right.
Fuckery right
You
there.
heard it here first.
Discretion is advised.
Yes, that's right. Just became an adult show. That's
Oh, I'm
disappointing to
sorry.
hear.
That's shady. Wow.
But
Hey,
yeah,
Prime One?
because I was looking at the Justice League Batman, and I thought, well, it's not going to sell out. By next Christmas, it'll be $700. Then I had some when I bought something from them last year, and I thought, well, it could come down pretty reasonable. But the shipping and the custom fees, and if you can only use 20%,
Wow.
it's probably not going to happen. So.
And the points they give you, it's like each point is a penny. So
Yeah,
It's like a false incentive.
and so for them to limit it after they give you so little, that's dirty.
Mhm.
That's really
Yeah,
dirty.
Well, that's definitely making Sideshow points look a lot better.
Yeah, I usually
Because I've had to really search to find any information about the how you could use them, or if you could use them, if you had enough to cover the whole thing, could you use it? And found it's in there.
Wow.
I usually just get on the live chat with them, and I get so pissed at them, I just tell them to keep it. I don't even deal with it. It's like, keep the money, assholes. That's usually what I say.
Mm.
No, I really don't, but that's what I want to say.
Yeah, Prime One has me hooked this year, so I can't.
Well, like what you said, Jeff, about the Justice League Batman. Like, I feel like that's what I want to do. Maybe with my movie pieces, is to cancel those, wait to see if they go on sale, and then if there's a good deal.
Yeah,
but I just don't see paying full price at this point for some of those, because some of those will sit there.
It's the only way to fly.
Well, I know you said that in the past, and the more I hear you, the more I think you're right. It's just that you just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just wait. It's hard because, as soon as the pre-order comes out, you're excited, you want to do it.
Yeah.
If you're PJ, you can't help it.
Oh,
yeah.
You only do.
We got to talk this man down, and it hardly ever works.
So we're going to buy him one of them Two-Face coins so he can figure out what
need
he's
one.
pre-ordered.
I love it.
You need one.
Yeah, I'm feeling the pain right now, man. I'm seeing everybody get that XM Storm in, and I'm like, man.
Oh, yeah.
That is a beautiful piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He
and I'm
tried
like,
to lure you to the dark side, I tell you.
I know, man. It's just it won't fit.
He could have made it.
I
Fit.
could have made it fit if I would have altered the base, but then I'm like, I'm paying $1,000 to alter a base. It's like, all right, I'll wait a couple years and I'll pick it up.
Can this shelf behind you go up anymore? No.
No, that's it. 29 inches.
What about on top? Is that your roof? Or your ceiling?
Yeah, that's basically the ceiling.
Yeah. I love that. I think maybe you guys already talked about this, but that display with the cotton.
Oh yeah, I
Did
saw
you
that with
see
the lights.
that? With the lights.
Yeah,
That was sweet.
that was perfect.
Yeah, that looked
And the
really
lights
good.
under it looked like it was actually storming.
Yeah, there were lightning bolts.
Cotton
Yeah.
balls. Wow,
Yeah.
that
I don't know whose that was, but man, I give him props. That was some awesome thinking.
Yeah, I'm really digging that statue, man. But
Yeah, I am too.
I can't get everything, man.
How much does that run?
I mean, I would assume it's the same as every XM piece. It's at least $1,000.
Yeah,
it's gonna run you more than that now.
It's gonna be more than that.
It's gonna be more than that now.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think there's like a weird thing, right? It doesn't matter how good the piece is, as much as it matters how much people want it as like a bragging right. And I don't know that Storm has that kind of bragging right.
Why not?
It might not.
I don't know.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely.
I think he's
because look at Moon Knight, right? Does Moon Knight have the same bragging right that Scorpion has? XM Scorpion. That thing is like skyrocketed. Moon Knight you could probably still get for retail right now.
Yeah.
They only make like 200 Moon Knights, whatever. It's like real low, I think.
Yeah, it's like 270 or something.
It's weird
like that.
though,
It's like crazy.
I like Moon Knight more.
That's about how many Moon Knight fans there are, so that'll work out.
In the world.
Yeah,
Moon
but
Knight's
they
awesome.
don't want to buy them shipping fees.
Man,
that's crazy.
I've been feeling jealous though.
Oh, I have been too. I actually, like when that was first going up for people were buying it, I had contacted like so many times, almost pre-ordered it just because I love that piece so much. And now I feel like crap, but oh well. I'll deal with it.
I might be in the minority, man. I like that evil head better than the other head.
I like
Which one?
better.
The
The laughing. I love it.
That's really cool.
Because it's kind of like a drunk with power kind of situation.
Mhm.
I love it.
It's something different for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe hard to display, but I mean,
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool though.
Sideshow will make another one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, probably.
that would be nice. That's like, wow, good move. Your patience paid off.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, the Cyclops was very tempting because that looked really good, especially having the two torsos to switch out. But
Yeah,
damn,
I
it's
agree.
expensive.
It is expensive.
It's just way too much.
See, they should have offered that as an A and B situation like Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
That one, they forced everybody to buy both torsos. I don't know.
Yeah, anytime there's a statue like the Prime One Arkham Bane, a lot of us wish that they had, because they sold it as two separate statues. Even the only thing that was different was the torso. So I wish that more companies would offer ABC or what you said, different options to say that way you can get exactly. If you want to pay more, you're going to pay more, and you get more. But if you just want that one torso, then they should. I would think that they would sell more doing it that way than the other way, but I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Prime One, another topic I wanted to kind of briefly talk about is that Wonderfest, Prime One's big show, Winter Wonderfest is going to be at the very beginning of February, and we're not that far away already. It's already the middle of January. So is there anything that you guys would love to see from Prime One coming out? Marvel's still at the back burner for them. I think if they actually unveil some Marvel stuff, I think people are going to go ape shit.
Yeah.
I would like to see an announcement for a Weapon X Prime 1/3. Holy crap, that would be so sick. Oh my god. I would order that right there. I would send whoever money.
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
What about you guys? Is there anything that you would love to see from that show? I know that they're going to do that big giant comic book Bane. The David Finch Bane is going to be shown there. So I'm really excited about that. And I have a feeling they're probably going to show the 1/5 scale stuff. But is there anything in particular you guys would love to see from them?
Yeah. For me, I really want to see more of that new Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad, the new 52, I guess, with the roller
skater. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because that's on my list, and of course that Joker. But the big one for me, and I don't know if they'll show it, is the Kong Island, because I know there's been some controversy with that because of how
the fur, right? The fur, right?
Yeah. And That was big. Well, yeah, the way they did the base. So I really want to see, but it's probably too soon because I know that we're gonna go back and redo some stuff on it. But I would love to see, if they've already made progress, see what they did. But
I think it'd be interesting to see maybe some of the Rebirth stuff potentially. Just from a comic perspective. I think they got that same license as they do for the New 52, but really I think they should round out the New 52 line with Aquaman. They haven't done an Aquaman in that New 52 sort of look, and I think that's a cool look for Aquaman. I think that New 52 look is really pretty cool and could round out that Justice League line.
I might be wrong, but I feel like they've said that that's it. Like that was the whole line.
I think they did, yeah.
Which I don't understand. Like, how do you not have, especially with the popularity right now of Aquaman, how do you not have that? But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just decided to stick with the movie pieces on that. But you're right, that just seems kind of a little silly because they did an Injustice 2 version, which personally, I don't think that version looks. To me, that design is not Aquaman. To me, it's just
no.
I don't like it either.
I think I heard didn't they scrap it? I think I heard somebody said they might have scrapped it. The New 52 version.
Really?
No, really.
Somewhere I remember hearing that. I don't know.
Huh. Well,
No,
I know
remember Ryan's been pushing for that New 52 version.
Yeah, that XM, Aquaman, that thing looks great, and they did some. XM went back and redid some work on the face to even improve it, but
yeah, I thought it looked good from the beginning.
Yeah, and they've even done a better job of going back and looking at that face sculpt.
It's got the seahorses, right? Where he's riding the seahorse,
that 1/6 line looks sweet.
1/6.
Yeah,
all the 1/6 pieces they're doing.
They all look so sweet, man. As a Justice League fan, man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, they're able to get so much more detail out of a 1/6 now than I think than when we first started collecting. I don't know if the advancements in technology and the digital sculpting and some of those things, but Tweeterhead's 1/6 is really top notch, and XM's 1/6, which is more modern take on these characters. I think really the detail that they're able to get out of these, it's really incredible.
I feel like too that they're getting better with each one they do, because I think didn't they start with the Joker, and the Joker to me is it's okay, but I feel like the pieces since then have been really top notch, and then the illustrations of the ones they're getting ready to do, they're awesome. They're really lots of detail.
Agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Any other pieces you'd like to see?
Zatanna.
Yeah, man, they teased her like what 2 or 3 years ago almost. I mean,
2 years ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zatanna.
Well, I got a request because I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan, and I would like to see Prime 1 do a 1/3 scale comic Wonder Woman.
Kind of like, man, I think Iron Studios. I love their 1/3 scale Wonder Woman. If you're gonna get a 1/3 scale Wonder Woman, because it has so many options. It's got the cape. You can either do with or without, and I think it's got that
helmet.
Yeah, it's got the helmet. You can do with or without.
Shield.
The shield, the sword, the lasso,
swords, and all that.
Yeah, it's nice.
A lot of switch outs.
Yeah, Rick, you were going to get that one at one point, right?
It's a little bit hard to locate. So I missed out on it, and I should have got it. I know I should have now, but in hindsight, I was waiting until it came out. I wanted to see it in hand, and by the time I saw it in hand, it was already gone. So I just missed that one entirely. So it would be nice, I want a really large scale. I would really like, honestly, I'd take a half scale too. I don't even care. I just like Wonder Woman so much. I'd take third, half. I don't really care, but I just want a comic version. The movie versions are cool. I like all the 1/3 scales they're doing. It's just that I like her as Wonder Woman. I like her in the movies. I'm a comic book Wonder Woman fan, first and foremost. That's what I've read for years, and she's just my favorite character. So I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see, I know they've got a Terminator license, and they've only done like a little bit with it. I know they're supposed to be doing more with the first Terminator movie anyway. They don't have a license for T2, they said. So just the first. I'd like to see what they do with it. I know there's supposed to be some more pieces coming in that line, but I don't know. The thing with Prime 1 is it seems almost like they're in a kind of a holding pattern where they're wanting to just continue to show these same pieces until they start getting some of those out. I think they even sort of hinted around there wouldn't be a lot of new stuff, didn't they? That's sort of what they were talking about.
I have not heard anything. Usually I talk to John a little bit, and I have not heard anything about this show, other than that Bane. I know Bane,
Yeah,
or at least that's what they said. I know in the past they've said like various Arkham pieces were going to be there, and then they weren't. So I don't know anything about this show other than I know there's a lot of people that want certain pieces. And I'd love for them to surprise everybody with one or two more Arkham pieces. But I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, you almost wonder if they're slowing down just a little bit to be a little bit more thoughtful. I mean, they put that Nightwing out there, and there was such backlash against that Nightwing. They said, just forget it. We're not even going to do it, at all. I think
was it even that bad though?
Really?
That Nightwing was pretty awful.
It was not good. It was not. It just didn't look like it belonged. And I really think that if we only saw like one version of it, like we didn't see any swap outs, we didn't see the other head sculpts. So I was surprised that they kind of pulled it as quickly as they did. But I guess they felt like if there was that much negative backlash that quickly, that they're not going to sell. Because it just makes you wonder too, with all the sales, like how many they're actually selling at this scale, because it's a large scale, and for them to say we're going to make 400 of them, and then they actually release 200 because people aren't buying them.
Yep.
So I would assume that they just felt it's not even worth it for a character that might not be that popular. But I don't know.
It's a risk. I mean, when you do a less popular character at 1/3 scale, I mean, you got to be a pretty big fan to pay that kind of money. Batman's
premium
easy.
Scale.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing I love, especially initially about Prime 1, is that they were the company that didn't care. They would take that risk because they wanted to make, like, I have an Azrael. I don't know how many people have that Azrael. It is one of my favorite pieces in the collection. I know not very many people have it, but the fact that they did it is amazing to me. I mean, they could have easily made Poison Ivy and sold way more.
Yeah.
Or Penguin, because people know who that is. And
then a third scale Dead Man coming. That's crazy.
It is.
Exactly.
It is.
Never thought I'd see that.
But I do think that you're right. I think that they've slowed down a little bit because initially it was just their passion that they wanted to put these figures out there. But then whenever they saw, well, crap, they're not selling as much as we would like them to. Maybe we have to be smarter with what we come out with.
Yeah.
And I think there was also fan backlash because, like, I've had 3 Arkham pieces within the last 2 months come in. But I ordered Croc, over 2 years ago. So I feel like there was a big backlash where, like, there's all these pieces being previewed, but then you have to wait 2 or 3 years to get it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like maybe if they said, okay, we're going to slow down a little bit, not show as many pieces, and really focus on getting those out to customers, I feel like that's kind of what they've been doing. Because some of this stuff has been delayed and some of it's coming out a little bit earlier. But I don't know. As far as I can tell, the quality continues to be amazing from Prime 1. So whether it's delayed or not, I'm thankful for it because I know they're going to ship out a really good product. I've seen like people Jim Mint just got the Venom in today. All the pictures are looking really good to me. So I think they're going to continue to be the top of the line company. But I do feel like they're going to have to slow down for people to catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, with that said, well, we've gone over our hour. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about this week, or feel like we've covered just about everything?
Are you doing the Titans? What was it?
Oh yeah, I did. I said I just didn't know if any of you guys are watching Gotham or Titans right now.
Yeah, I've watched them both. I've loved Gotham the whole run. It's been kind of weird that now what they're doing is the which is my favorite Batman story, the
No Man's Land.
They're doing it with Batman, not Batman yet. So that's kind of weird. But I am going to be sad when the show's over. Titans was pretty good, but I don't know those characters for the most part as much. But
Does it make you want to know those characters more after watching it? Like, do you want to get invested in them
on the show?
Yeah,
I won't. Yeah, I won't read them. Like comic wise, I'm not interested in the Titans characters, but I do like the show.
I wish I was telling some of the guys beforehand that I thought this. They said they're going to be on Netflix now, but it's not. It's everywhere but the United States.
Yeah.
And I don't have the streaming service, so I feel like I've missed out a little bit. But I have heard from most people I've talked to that they really enjoyed the series.
Yeah, it was good, and I hope DC does more original shows. You're not going to keep an audience or make people buy you if they're showing their old TV shows and old movies. So I hope they do more original stuff.
Yeah.
Well, no, Young Justice is on there now, so season 3.
Yeah.
You ain't good.
So I need live action stuff.
No, there's more. I heard there's more coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I finished Titans today, and I'm on the 3rd episode of Young Justice. I actually really like Young Justice.
Young Justice
Titans is totally watchable for me. I don't know. It's something I'd revisit though. You know, and I don't want to compare it to like other similar shows, but there's shows that I'll go back and watch over and over again. I don't know that I'd rewatch Titans over and over again.
But do you think it's worth at least watching once?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some really cool stuff, and they took some risks, and I think it paid off.
That's cool. Well, with Gotham, Rodney, you were talking. Oh, sorry. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you guys getting that too?
Yeah, we're getting that echo too.
I don't know what's changed here.
Somebody's playing us back. Anybody not muted that's watching along?
I think we lost it.
Oh, it's gone now. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Is it
I'm
back?
a boss. I'm a boss.
I think we're
I'm a
okay.
boss.
Okay. The thing with Gotham is that I agree with the No Man's Land thing. I'm actually reading that right now, so it's really cool to be reading it at the same time. It's like, oh, that's so cool. They just did that with the different games and stuff. So I've enjoyed the show. I know people either seem to love or hate Gotham. And it, like, the first season wasn't very good, and then I thought the second season was really good. But I'm also sad to see it go. But I really like the direction they did with this one, with the different gangs, and it'll be interesting to see how the people team up, and we get to see Bane this season and maybe Harley Quinn, which again people are mad about because they're like, well, all those characters didn't come about until Batman was around. So it'll be real interesting to see how they finish the series. But I have heard that they're going to do like a full episode with him in Batman costume. So,
and see, I would love to see Gotham come back every once in a while for like one season where they tackle a big story.
Mm-hmm.
So like do a Nightfall season, but with Batman, and you know, it would be nice to see No Man's Land with Batman, but like do the big Batman stories as one season and have it, you know, Gotham Nightfall, or, you know, Gotham Killing Joke, or I would love to see them do something like that. I'm sure that's like,
how about Long Halloween?
Yeah, do that. Dude,
that'd be amazing.
It's been my favorite comic book show on TV for a long time. Besides Walking
Really?
Dead, yeah.
Even the Punisher?
Okay, so now you're getting into Netflix.
It's on TV.
Okay. Next favorite. Because then you bring in Daredevil and Punisher. Yeah. So it's my top 5. It's definitely my favorite DC one. Definitely my favorite DC one.
I can live with that.
Yeah. I really like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do you guys watch that?
Yeah.
Started trailing off for me.
Yeah. It got really weird. They went into space last year, and it got weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was still good. I mean, good writing.
Yeah, I definitely watched it all, but there were some seasons I really wasn't into it. Then it picked up, and then it, you know, up and down.
Did you guys all see the new Spider-Man trailer that hit this week?
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah. I feel a certain way about that.
Tell us what do you think?
Well, I'm looking at this, I know all of us are comic book heads in here. I'm looking at this as somebody who does not know the story. I feel like they just gave a big spoiler to everybody who's going into Infinity War and wanting to see part 2. You just spoiled it, I feel like.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was really surprised that they went the way they did. I mean, I figured it was supposed to be a teaser, and it was like 3 minutes long. So it was a full trailer. I mean, it's not a teaser, but I mean, they could have easily done that. But I agree. I'm like, why would they spoil a movie that's not even out yet?
Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to take place before Infinity War, though?
No, it's after. I just read it. It was after. It said like directly after Infinity War, I think.
Because look, my parents were, and they're not in the comics at all. They were getting on me. Did you see that Infinity War yet? I can't believe they killed so-and-so. Like, they were destroying. I'm like, because I know what happens. I'm like, okay, yeah. But now you just did this. Okay, so Spider-Man's going to be okay.
Next year it's going to be good. We kind of knew what was up because they was on,
did.
But no, listen. I mean, because, you heard they were signing up for Doctor Strange 2 and Black Panther. Like, well, we know they're coming, so,
My parents don't follow all that stuff.
No, they don't.
So I'm like, we know that.
No, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. It's just, we all saw the writing on the wall, sort of.
But if I'm a movie,
Loki TV show.
Loki TV show and all that stuff. But
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can pull in. I'm sure they won't have any problem, but I mean, pulling in sort of casual, just the movie going fan like your parents, Rodney. Would they even go and see number 2? I mean, for everybody, all of us who know sort of the story and what's going to happen or what we think, at least some version of that. But people who don't, that were just casual moviegoers that have liked the Marvel movies, I wonder if that will have any impact. Doubt it. It's a machine, and it keeps turning around.
It was interesting though. Like I'll never forget at the end of that movie, everybody's disappearing, and I remember just everybody in the movie theater they were like standing, like their jaws dropped, rolling credits, like no one knew what to do. It was that awkward, weird moment. And like I knew what was going to happen. Like I know what'll happen in part 2, or at least I think I do. But I think the general audience, they had no idea. And I think you're exactly right. They don't know. They think hey, all these guys are dead.
There's a reason we get mad at people for giving spoilers, and I feel like they just gave a big spoiler to the non-comic book audience. So
Archangel in the audience, and I think he's referring to something you guys talked about on Friday night. About a certain Thor movie. And he said, Rodney wants a TV show based on the last Thor movie.
You could make a TV show based on Ragnarok, but I wouldn't watch it.
Oh my God.
You could do the TV show. Oh, that movie. Yeah.
I liked Ragnarok. I know you said you didn't like it. I feel like it was just specifically to bridge the gap between those movies and Guardians.
See, for me,
add the sense of humor, add the funny parts. That's why they did that.
But if everybody's gonna die, I don't feel like that's a time for it to be a stand-up routine movie. I'm like, it should be serious to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, I kind of agree with the serious thing, but I find Infinity War to be a little bit too comical at times. I thought Thor Ragnarok was maybe a little too comical. I actually enjoyed it, but I thought Infinity War had some moments where it was just, why is there so much comedy here? I mean, I just don't see it that way. I guess the overall mood. So that was one of the things that it was jarring. While it was good comedy, I guess, the Guardians and everything and Thor, but it just felt a little odd and out of place.
Yeah, your brother just died.
Yeah, exactly. Your brother just died.
Your whole ship just exploded.
Yep.
You hit a windshield, and then you're cracking jokes. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I just thought it was odd.
They have this magic that you kind of just like, I don't care.
I don't care. Exactly.
The Men in Black,
keep it coming.
White light, you just erase your memory. None of that stuff has happened.
Yeah, it was just so jarring.
What did everyone think of Aquaman? I
loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
That was great.
I liked it. I thought it was a little bit long, maybe, but I liked it.
Shut your dirty mouth.
I never thought Aquaman would be cool. Sorry, but Aquaman was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Swing.
I think Aquaman's kind of cool. I mean, I always kind of enjoyed him in the comics. I actually have more of a problem with Flash in the comics. I just think he's boring, but that's just me. Everybody's got their own opinions, but I find Aquaman to be a little more interesting.
Yeah, I do too. I really like the especially with what they did and a lot of the him talking about being from two worlds and not fitting into either one, and they played with that with this movie, and this movie was a lot of Throne of Atlantis and a lot of a couple other Aquaman stories built in. I thought it was really good.
Well, I think the main thing is they clearly picked the right actor. Yeah, because I feel like I did not read anything about him in comic books. I always thought, like, who is this guy in this orange leotard with blonde hair? He doesn't look like a superhero. He just looks, whatever. And I just feel like picking who they did to portray him, I think that's going to change everything for that character. Just the way they portray him in the future. I think that, I don't know. I think
it's like an Entourage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, definitely made me look at him different.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and there was comedy in that, but it for some reason it fit with that. It fit with his character when he would crack jokes. Like, I wasn't mad about it because he's kind of a smart ass a little bit, and it fit with him. It's just
Well, they tried to do that in Justice League. I thought they tried to make it into a family friendly, happy film. And which that had all kinds of controversy, with the Snyder Cut and all that other stuff. But I feel like this was a good balance. I feel like they took what Marvel was doing, but still made it a DC film. So
yeah, Justice League. I didn't like what they did with Aquaman as well. I liked some of it, but that whole scene with the lasso and him, like I felt like that was like Joss Whedon being a dick. I mean, to women. That's how I took that. I mean, I know a lot of people just sort of laughed it off, but I really kind of felt like that was just inappropriate and, just Joss Whedon being Joss Whedon and being, a misogynist. And it just seemed out of place. And I thought, the way that James Wan handled this character was a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he just did a really good job. It was visually cool.
Good he got his butt kicked in Justice League. He was not badass the whole movie. In this movie, he was badass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you're right. The underwater, sea life and what they were able to create with that. I think it's sort of a tragedy that it's not even considered as an Oscar for the the cinematography of it. I think that's just bullshit. That's just Hollywood not kissing its own ass or whatever it is, but.
Well, it's interesting that you hear about Ben Affleck's not going to be Batman anymore. Henry Cavill's not going to be Superman anymore. I feel like they were trying to distance themselves in case Aquaman didn't do well. But now that it's done so well, it'll be really interesting how they do proceed with the movies, because that Batman movie is going to be whenever Batman's young. To me it's going to be real confusing for the general audience.
Yeah.
So disjointed, but
yeah.
Well, not to bring another movie.
Phoenix Joker movie. I don't know where that's coming in. It's not the same universe.
It's not part of that same universe either. Which again, I appreciate. I think I'll appreciate it as a film. But I'm like, why do that? Like, why? Yeah. I don't know.
Because now at this point, within the last 5 years, we have 3 different Jokers if you include the Gotham Joker.
Yeah.
And it's confusing for a casual fan.
Sure it is. And I just don't think it's going to resonate with. I mean, that Marvel has been so successful, and I know that they didn't want to necessarily copy what Marvel was doing, but I mean, you ask the general fans or general people who these characters are, and they know them because of how they were built upon themselves. If you have all these movies, I don't know. I agree. I just think it's going to really confuse everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they're, the only thing I can think is a story over anything else, and that just maybe like what Rodney was talking about earlier, it'd be interesting to see them just take on big popular stories as just one-offs. I'd almost rather just take that to some degree, and just so if they did a Batman and you throw whoever under the cowl, but the movie was really based on some sort of source material, or a Superman where maybe it's you do a Red Sun movie, or maybe you do
Injustice.
Injustice would be awesome, right?
That's what they was trying to base Justice League off of, with those Nightmare flavors. They were saying it's based off of Injustice.
You talking about Batman versus Superman?
No. Well, yeah, all of it.
Yeah, but they threw it into one movie, and it didn't make sense.
It didn't work. They tried to do about 7 different stories in that movie. It just.
Why do you guys think that they don't do that? Like, why? There's so much good source material out there for comic books. These epic, year-long stories. Like I think of like Long Halloween or Killing Joke or some of these. Why aren't they're made animated? But why don't they do the stories mainstream?
I think writers and directors are artists, and I think they want to have their own ability to, take some of that source material and have some liberties with it and create something as an artist. And if they have to stick true to a particular source material, they're just sort of replicating on film what's already been done. And I think it's just it doesn't allow their creativity to shine. And I don't think it's bad. I'm not one, like, if they came out with a new like He-Man movie and they totally changed a bunch of things about it, like, I'd probably be okay with that because I'm pretty open. But I think it's an opportunity where they could do some of that, and then I don't know. That's a good question.
I kind of feel like it's a combination of them not caring about the audience, but needing the material, and they feel like I don't think they're in touch with the audience enough, and they feel like they can make it better, so they kind of mess with stuff.
Yeah, I think that they think they know better, and it doesn't work.
Right.
I think that they need DC is almost like purposely tried to sabotage themselves in their movies, because they change too much. I think they need one creative director, one person that said, this is where we're going, and if you come onto this is how it's going to play out. So
right,
this is where the story's going to end up, and we have to get there, and we're not going off the track.
Well, the problem is DC, Warner Brothers is making the DC movies.
Yeah.
Marvel is making the Marvel movie, like actual Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
So you got execs making DC movies, and then actual like Marvel story writers, and making the Marvel movies. So they're in.
Well, that's why Justice League had to come in. They came in and said it has to be under 2 hours long. So you have to get rid of the 20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Because we want X many number of showings per day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, again, they have such great source material. They have so many good characters. But I think, Jeff, you're exactly right. It does feel like they're sabotaging themselves over and over again because they just don't have their shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know a bunch of guys that absolutely love Batman versus Superman, but I think that by and large, audiences did not buy into it. I think if you look at the movie for what it is, I think it could be a smart movie. I think it was probably the wrong story for those characters. Like, if you have the, idea of Superman being this ideal to live up to, the Superman that was created in that universe is not that Superman. Or Batman always being some sort of ideal to live up to from, the greatest detective, his intelligence, his physicality, his physique, his drive, his obsession with, fighting crime. He's got an ideal too. And the character that was written in that story is also not the same character. And a lot of people loved that, and and want to see that Snyder cut and that vision and that story, but it didn't resonate with a lot of people because that was not their Batman and their Superman. So I think it's been, they tried something. I think they took a risk, and I think that it was a smart story. There's a lot of intelligence in that movie and a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of things to follow, but it didn't seem to resonate with those characters. Especially the Lex Luthor character. People absolutely, didn't.
I hated him.
I thought it was awful.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible.
It was bad.
No,
So I agree.
One of my least favorite things in like the last decade.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you guys buy the Snyder cut? Because I absolutely do want to see that.
I do think it'd be interesting to see what they did with it. Yeah,
I would be interested for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, if you watch the Blu-ray, the extended version of BVS is so much better than what they released. It
is.
It makes sense.
It makes so much more sense.
Yep.
I didn't see the regular cut till I was watching it on TV one afternoon, and I was like watching, and I thought, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm like, they left out a whole big part there, and I'm like, well, hell, no wonder nobody liked it.
I've often thought they should have let Bruce Timm make these movies. You know what I mean? And
it would be great. Absolutely.
We should let some of the animated minds come in on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine there's nobody better that would know that material and just stories that he created. And oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I love that idea, man. I mean, like, why are they listening to you?
Suits, Hollywood suits. They know better.
It's their money.
Lucasfilm, I'm available. Just to let you know.
I wanted to bring that up. I'm glad you said that. So, have you seen the Vader fan film?
Oh, how much time do you have?
I have some time. Now, for you guys that don't know about this film, so the big thing was, and it is amazing. It's just absolutely fantastic. So Disney, I guess, they found out about this, right? They found out about it, and it's gotten all these millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube, and Disney wanted to start monetizing it by putting ads on the clips. Well, as of today, he posted a video, the guy that did it, and he said that Lucasfilm actually came to his defense and got Disney to back off from it. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up if you wanted to. I mean, because like every day something different is happening with this thing. You know what I mean? And you know what? This actually might yield some good things because I don't know. It might be, call me crazy. They might actually get this guy to come and do some stuff for them, which would be fantastic.
Well, if you go back tonight, Thor, and you watch his little clip, because he talks about how after all of this, he said he's gonna leave all this behind now, but he said he's got like these meetings in Hollywood and their interviews and stuff. I think you're going to see this guy some more. I really do, because the work that he did. I don't know. I was way more excited watching that than I was the last movie, for sure.
Yeah, it was better than the last movie.
Yeah, I like it more.
If somebody here doesn't agree,
well, no, I like it more than a lot of the Star Wars movies, including.
But I'll tell you what, it did. You know, obviously, you know, I'm the big Vader fan out there, but like, it didn't even have to be Vader. Like, this could have been a Kylo film.
Yeah,
and the way he did it I could see it being fantastic because it has so much depth to it. You know what I mean? Like, because they made I don't know if you guys seen the Darth Maul one.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah,
that was dope. That was dope because that was badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's raw.
It didn't really have the, like, this one kind of went kind of down deep. You know what I mean? You saw Vader in situations you never really seen him in. You know,
so vulnerable. Like, so vulnerable.
I mean, because the thing with this is it was early on, like his transition into the suit. It was like less than a year that had happened and everything. And you saw the struggle he was going to. You know, he wanted to kick the Emperor's ass, but he knew deep down inside that he, one, that it'd be difficult to do, and two, if he did, you know, because I've often read about if he became the Emperor, if he became the top dog, people really wouldn't know really how to receive him because who is this dude even human? You know what I mean? So it's like we supposed to follow this cat, you know what I mean? So and there were assassination attempts on him and everything because they didn't really know what to make out of him. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just the factor that he couldn't take it. He could have tried and maybe he would have succeeded. Maybe he wouldn't. But it was more to it than just taking him out. You know what I mean? Which he was also struggling with. And I loved it. And I can't wait till they make the second episode. So we see him throw down with Mace and everything, which will be an extremely difficult task, so I'm looking forward to
a Mace Windu movie.
They could. I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, you guys have to send this to me. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't seen it. I need this first. I'm hearing about it.
Yeah,
So.
it is phenomenal. The guy that plays the Emperor, the actor's okay looking, but his voice,
spot on.
Like it was just. I mean, it's better than any animated anything. I mean, he sounds exactly like him.
Yeah.
And even Vader, I thought just everything, the sound was so good. Even like Padme sounded like Natalie Portman, and that's just like, oh.
But you know what? I'm not giving away anything, Lawrence, on this. But to me, this might sound crazy. My favorite part was the part where he wasn't in the suit.
Yeah,
it was like fantastic because the looks on his face just said the whole story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was actually the guy from the that was him.
Oh, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, with his arms off.
That's cool. I love that last shot where they're looking up at him. There's like that just looks like Empire or something to me. I don't know what, but it's so good.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you, Lawrence, because it is. What's the name? It's
Shards.
Star Wars
Series is the channel, and the name of the film is called Shards of the Past.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And he did say in today's video that they are making the second one. So.
It sounds like a dick move, like big companies do. It sounds like EA Sports.
It's our intellectual property, It's
it's their property. I don't know. It's you want to have some creativity out there, but it's their property, and they've got a right to try and monetize that. And it's just I don't know that it's any different than the statue company saying, hey, you don't have the rights to make a character in the custom market, and we know that stuff's out there and that exists and that's become more prevalent, and you understand that. I mean, it's almost, I kind of liken it somewhat, not in this particular instance, but it's like piracy. Like you can't go and steal Windows, right? That's against the law for a reason. Or you can't go and steal.
But didn't this guy get permission from Lucasfilms to do it? That's what I understood.
The issue was the music. The issue was the music, and there's another company that had some kind of deal with Disney to share like the licensing or whatever for the music itself. So they went after him because it was too close. They said it was too close to some of the music, like the Empire's March or whatever.
Okay.
That's what the issue was.
It's one part, when you
I felt like they were grasping for something to get their hooks in it. Was how I felt about it.
Well, the guy in his video today, he kind of alludes to the fact that I guess when Lucasfilm originally made the contract with Disney, that apparently he wanted people to still be able to make these fan things, and not be penalized. So it sounds like that Disney, by doing this, had broken that agreement.
Yeah.
Which is what they originally agreed upon. Now, what the details of that is, I have no idea.
Yeah,
sure.
But it was just interesting listening to that guy. I would look at once you've seen that, I would definitely see what he has to say today if you haven't seen it, because it's interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's going to work out better for him now.
Oh, he just got crazy publicity.
Yeah, because I think the Disney thing, they underestimated how much people liked what he did, and they got a major pushback, and it's gonna open their eyes, and who knows, hopefully maybe he becomes somebody they go to for some ideas, because he gave a top a top 15 list of some movies he would like to see. And I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I've said it over and over. I did not like Episode 4, and I do like the new stuff, but I love his ideas, and it would be something I'd be interested in seeing. So
I feel like Thor's going to reach for that screen and punch you.
No, he already knows.
Out of the original three, that was the most hokey. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah, he's heard this before.
He's got that force choke ready, man.
That's right.
I don't know, guys. Maybe it was all part of Disney's plan.
So they're the good guys, huh?
No, I'm saying maybe they're like, yo, we want this thing to get popular. Let's see how much traction it can get.
You might be right, because there has been so much negativity surrounding the last film. Either people loved it or hated it, and there's all these people that just go everywhere and say how much they hated the film. And I know that Disney, especially like theme park wise, I was just at Disney last week. They're getting ready to open that Star Wars land. They want as much positive. They want as many people talking about Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So it's not that far from thinking that could be the case.
What do they say? No, bad publicity is good publicity, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah. Make him their proxy to test the waters.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, all of us are very eloquent. That guy was like, he's been talking in front of a camera his entire life. I mean, it looked like he practiced that in the mirror.
That's his career.
That guy was, bro, my man was super polished when he was talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, he was really very clear, very concise, confident. He was like, this is not an average person. Maybe, I don't know, man. The Illuminati is real,
I'm gonna tell you
guys.
what. I've been watching his stuff for a long time. You should see some of his like alternate like universe type of thing. Like if this would have happened, like he's got one where if Maul would have trained Anakin, oh man, it was fantastic. Oh, it was I mean, it's like not an actual movie, but he's like he's reading off like a script. Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's got a lot of them. I mean, I've watched him and Stupendous Wave and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's got some stuff besides that film that you should check out, So yeah.
And tell everybody the name of that channel again.
It's called Star Wars Theory, and the name of the film is called Shards of the Past, Episode 1 of Vader fan film.
Okay, I had heard of it, but I hadn't watched it yet. So I had heard of the Shards of the Past, but yeah, I've not seen it. So it sounds.
It's like 14 minutes long, so it's not.
I've watched it at least 60 times, and that's no exaggeration.
That's awesome.
No exaggeration.
Only 60? I'm kidding.
Amateur.
Yeah, stop.
I'm kidding, bro.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Well, guys, I think it's probably time to wrap it up for this week. I just want to thank all of you again for being here. You guys are amazing. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be on the show, and it wouldn't be the same without you guys. So thank you guys very much.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime, brother. Appreciate you inviting us.
Again, all the people in the chat, sorry we didn't get to talk to you too much tonight, but thank you for all of your participation. And again, congratulations to Red Hood for winning that Killing Joke book. So again, make sure that you email me, thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and we'll get that out to you. So we'll be back a couple weeks from now. Same bat time, same bat channel, and hopefully you guys. I'd love to have you guys back on if you're able to, or if you have nothing going on. So we'd love to have you on for the next show. And as always, guys, thank you guys so very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time in the Bat Cave. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.